at all that money, yeah, the money that they spend. Take another look now and take some time for hemp. I know cut trees for paper, cause it hurts the environment. Stop deforestation, yeah, it's time for hemp. Whoa, an acre of hemp makes 20 barrels of oil. No need for pesticides to poison all our soil. People got no food, they got no clothes, they got no rent. Well, right now it's time for hemp.
Thank you for taking time for Hemp. I'm your host, Casper Leitch. You are listening to the live broadcast of Time for Hemp all around the world on Tumblr, SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, and of course, iHeartRadio. We are the only all-cannabis network on iHeartRadio, and we are constantly growing. On the program today, it is Thursday, and on Thursdays, we focus on what's going on in the United States because policy in the U.S. affects everybody around the world. Our country is that big that we have such an impact even coming out of Hollywood. Our movies make a major impact on the whole planet. So you can imagine the insane war on drugs and what it's done to every corner of the earth. To talk about that today, my joint host, Paul Stanford, and I are having a joint conversation with one of Paul's groovy friends, Benton MacKenzie. And remember, anytime you hear the word joint on the Big Joint broadcast, nearly 2.5 million people all around the world pack their bongs, their vaporizers, roll up some joints, and jointly take time for hemp. Good morning, Paul. Paul, you're
Good morning, Cap.
There you are. Are you on mute, Paul?
I was, but I'm not now.
All right. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Casper.
And good morning, Benton. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, all things considered.
Groovy. Well, Paul introduced me to you, so Paul knows more about you and your history, so I'll let Paul lead today's conversation.
Hello, Benton. How are you? You're doing pretty well. You're in Oregon, though.
Yes, I am. That's why I'm doing so well.
Yeah, so you were just convicted in court in Iowa as a medical marijuana patient, but they wouldn't let you mention medical marijuana to your jury. Do you want to tell our audience about your condition?
Well, for about six and a half years, I've been battling a rare form of cancer called angiosarcoma. It's a rare form of cancer that affects the blood vessel linings, and it's pretty insidious. It's claiming more than half the people that try to treat it with the traditional, conventional treatments like chemotherapy. But aside from that, they're the ones that survive are not doing that well either. But for the last 6 years, I've been battling that, and the law enforcement in the Quad City area there to keep me from trying to kill my cancer. And they're aware of the physical conditions I'm dealing with, too.
So they have charged not just you, but your parents, your wife, and your son, all in the same time for cultivating cannabis to help your condition in Iowa. Isn't that right?
Yeah. They've been not only tried, but convicted my wife and son on 4 counts, including conspiracy and manufacture. There was no fingerprints. They sold evidence. They took testimony to the contrary of what the prosecution was saying. They still, then they kept coming back with these questions. The jury kept coming with questions that evidently led to my understanding that there was a whole lot of doubt going on. But it took them less than a day to deliberate. Came back with completely guilty on all counts.
Now, the judge in your case,
my parents
the judge wouldn't let. Your judge wouldn't let them talk about medical marijuana. How did that ruling come about?
I wasn't even allowed. Well, see, the case was going on for close to a year before my necessity defense motion was actually heard or filed, so it could be seen and heard and given a ruling. And when he saw that, I guess it kind of ticked him off because they seemed to take gloves off at that point. So a motion to request jury instruction for necessity defense turned somehow into a court order to not mention cancer or any problems I was having. I wasn't even allowed to mention the word cancer. Or I was ordered, he said that I would be taken into jail for contempt of court, and the trial would be declared a mistrial, and I'd have to stay in jail for 6 months awaiting a new trial. So that didn't sound like that would
torture you to make sure you don't let the jury know the real reason that this was happening.
Yeah, I was ordered to not tell the whole truth. In my opinion, that's being court ordered to lie in court. Perjury.
So,
like this is America.
Yeah,
that's
a lot of it is. But in the war on drugs, we have been declared the enemy, including the patients who are left on the field to face combat in this war on drugs. So this was your second time to face prosecution for medical marijuana. Is that right?
That's right. That's the first
Tell
time
us all about the history of how you first found out you had this disease and how you came to decide to try cannabis.
Well, I noticed a little pea-sized lesion in my right buttock. It was right over the sciatic nerve. About, like I said, 6.5 years ago. And it was growing pretty slowly for about almost a year, maybe 6 months, a year before my wife noticed it. Which I didn't want to say anything or even think about anything. I kind of knew what it was, but kept it in the back of my head. And as soon as my wife saw it, we decided we better go to the doctor and see what was going on. And that was like pulling teeth to get to the doctor to biopsy it. He blew me off for about 1.5 years on top of that. So I'm going on close to 2 years now without a diagnosis, trying to get a diagnosis. My doctor said it was a calcium deposit and that he wasn't going to worry about it. So, and the way he's been treating me since then, I think he's afraid of a delayed diagnosis suit against him, but I'm not really interested in that. I just want to, all I wanted to do was know what I had so I could deal with it. And at the same time, I was finding about this gentleman named Rick Simpson. I was having a lot of success with his friends, treating him with the whole plant extract, from everything from cancers to diabetes and post-surgery healing and all sorts of things. And matter of fact, I was looking into research about what they call the hash eaters, and their hearts were. They had heart disease as well, and the whole study kind of culminated into where I'm at right now, was treating myself. The first lesion ended up getting 5 friends before I actually got a diagnosis. Excuse me. And I was treating the main lesion that appeared by itself topically with the cannabis oil. And within a week, it had just stopped letting me drive downtown because it was pushing on my sciatic nerve and make problems keeping pressure on the gas pedal and pushing on the brakes. And within 2 weeks of applying the oil, I was driving downtown again. And within 2 months, the lesion had gotten about the size of a golf ball, just like I had a golf ball stuck to my back pocket. And that whole lesion was gone, left nothing but a pink spot after 2 months. Right at the end of that 2 months is when I got arrested the first time. And they railroaded my son and wife at that time too. I basically got no representation. My representation told me that if I didn't let him take my leg off and try traditional treatments, that he could see to it that I went to jail that day. So I didn't have a fair shot that time either. But I was given a long battle, and I weighed the options, and they whittled down they gave me a plea bargain to take the manufacturing charge, and they would drop all the others. So I figured, well, I was manufacturing, I was not distributing, so if they made me lie, I was going to have to fight it. But I was growing, so I took it, and I thought, well, if I can survive at least 2 years to make it off of probation, then I can get out of there. And at the time, I figured, well, if I get on probation, I can transfer my probation to a state where I can live. And that did not happen. As soon as I got on probation, my wife and I both started going through the channels trying to get transferred out to either Arizona or California or Oregon or somewhere where we could treat myself. And the answer kept coming back, no. So at the same time, my PO told me that he wasn't going to let me leave the state to break the law as it stands in Iowa. They were going to trap me there for 2 years and try to kill me. And I wasn't even sure whether I was going to make the 2 years. My PO told me he would see to it that he got me through it. And, well, I did. I even told him probably halfway through my probation that I was having friends harvest the ditchweed for me because that was proving to be quite effective. Not very potent, but effective, and not very much of it because they do an amount of what do you call that? They go and chop it out of the fields. So there's still a limited supply of that too. But I was told by my PO that he recommended I just don't get pulled over driving around with it. So he was well aware that I was doing it and needing to treat myself with cannabis. Then the raid in 2014 came, or 2013, excuse me. And I've got the copy of my interrogation circulating around too online, so people can listen to the officer that arrested me, listen to what I've been dealing with basically for the last 4 years.
Good Lord, that is just horrible. And you would think that there would be more support for your medical condition and your need for this medication from the community and the leaders of the community than doing what they can to make you more ill and to cause you more complications. Well, with that said, we are going to take a commercial break to pay our bills, and then we're going to listen to a song about how wonderful marijuana is, and then come back and pick up where we left off here at Time for Hemp. You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
THCF Medical Clinics are the premier physicians clinic in the United States. THCF has offices all across the United States from Hawaii to Michigan. THCF Medical Clinics has helped approximately 150,000 patients obtain their medical marijuana permits to legally possess, grow, and use medical marijuana. If you have chronic pain, multiple sclerosis, or any other neurological degenerative disease, or if you have any gastrointestinal disorders such as GERD, irritable bowel syndrome, or if you have AIDS, cancer, spastic disorders, seizure disorders, or glaucoma, call us at 1-800-723-0188 or visit us online at hemp.org. Again, the number is 1-800-723-0188 and the site is hemp.org.
In need of a ganja vacation? Blaze away.
Don't criticize it.
Hotbox Jamaica. Chill. Relax and burn all day while watching the amazing ocean view. Listen to the birds. Bathe in the mineral waters of the Ganja River. Munch on tasty Jamaican Rasta food. Take a weed farm tour and hold a meditation. Book this amazing vacation for $420. Get the Sativa Special. 7 nights in Sativa dorms with ganja meals and airport transfer. Check us out at hotboxjamaica.com. That's hotboxjamaica.com. Hotbox Jamaica, a higher meditation vacation.
Indigrow is your source for affordable induction grow lighting. First discovered in 1891 by Nikola Tesla, Indigrow lights deliver 11 years of electronic sunlight to your plants. Indigrow lamps require less than half the power of traditional HID lamps. Converting to Indigrow lights means you'll cut down on your power bill with less lighting. Indigrow lamps also use 5 times less mercury than traditional fluorescent or HID lamps, making Indigrow not only energy efficient but environmentally friendly as well. No more switching out lamps between vegetative and flowering stages. As nature intended, your lights get a steady dose of UV light. That makes your plants grow healthier and stronger. Indigrow products are manufactured in San Diego, California, and come with a written 10-year warranty. What Tesla knew, then growers know now, is that Indigrow lighting is the cost-effective addition to your victory garden. To learn more or order now, go to inda-grow.com. That's INDA-GRO.com. Or call 877-452-2244 to answer any of your questions. These guys really know lights. Indigrow really is your sunlight in a box.
Education and information. See what all the buzz is all about. It's time for hemp. It's time for hemp.
That was Muck Sticky here on the big broadcast Time for Hemp Live, being heard on the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. I used to be just one little show. Now we've grown into a body of about 40, 45 people who are putting out continuous sound of the need to end prohibition to all corners of the world. Muck Sticky is bringing his personality and his talents to the big network. He is broadcasting on Time for Hemp live every Tuesday and Thursday night. And if you're a fan of Muck Stickies, you're going to want to make it a point to tune in and listen. We also broadcast the Cannabis Common Sense program live out of Portland, Oregon every Friday. I am the joint host. Paul Stanford is the host, and he is one of the programs on the big network, and so we are all making a lot of noise. Here we are talking today about how judges turn their backs on the realities of medical cannabis and the need for patients to get their medications, and we are talking about prosecuting attorneys who go out of their way to make medical marijuana patients feel and behave and turn them into criminals, but all they're trying to do is just get healthy. And Paul, I will pass the dialogue back to you and our joint guest here at Time for Hemp.
So, Benton, you're not in Iowa right now, right?
No, I'm not.
So you have been coming to Oregon. When did you first come to Oregon? You're in Oregon now, and you're going to be a guest on our TV show tomorrow for those folks out there listening that might be interested in watching that. It's Cannabis Common Sense tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Hopefully we can get your wife on, too. How did you find out about Oregon? What made your decision to come here to Oregon to try to get treatment?
Well, Oregon is the only place that's open to people that are not residents, which is a big deal for me. I don't have time to become a resident anywhere. That was the major problem getting this all sorted out in the first place. And on top of that, the marijuana laws here are much more workable for my condition. I mean, a lot of states you're only allowed a few plants, and that's just not enough to cut it for me. I still have to utilize the dispensaries and spend thousands of dollars there every month just to stay alive.
Yeah, I know. I first got a call about your case and your condition from another Iowa resident, longtime activist, Brian McCullough. You recall that?
Yes, I do. Good guy.
Do you want to tell our audience how you heard about us?
Well, ever since the story started breaking about what was happening to me this time, the outreach from the community in general, even around in Iowa, but especially through the internet, has been unbelievable. And several people have introduced us to news reporters that are not only interested in getting our story out, but interested in getting the accurate story out. It's phenomenal. When I first was approached to meet you, all these puzzle pieces started to come together. We were considering Oregon at the same time. Everything was just falling right into place. And coming out here, it was about a fourth time out here, I think, fourth or fifth. So it puts about 4 or 5 months ago, and the difference has been phenomenal. I mean, my cancers are still growing because I've been trying to wrap my head around what I need to do now. I mean, I've been dealing with it for 4 years at a stage 1, and all of a sudden, over 40 days in jail, it turns into stage 4. And I'm having to adjust my treatment regimen beyond what I have experience and knowledge in. And still trying to get the dosage and the dosage and the supply to meet each other and meet my cancer. And it's been slower than it has in the past, but it feels like I've reached the part of the tunnel where there's quite a bit of light coming in now. And I think it's just a matter of dialing the dosage, and I might have a chance at life here. Even if I don't, though, this has really woken a lot of people up to your program and to the news media. It's just overwhelming how many people are hearing about us now, and not just hearing about us, but hearing about all the different things that cannabis can do, coming along at just the right time when everybody's fed up. Everybody's heard somebody that's had some success treating it somewhere, even if they don't believe it. And then all the talk about legalization in all the states that are adopting some sort of program, and all the people in these states that are having results. It's just, I feel, part of a snowball that's developing. It's going to just crash right through the system that we have now and abolish it, as it needs to be abolished. At least the justice system.
I think we're seeing that start. We've seen it, start to break the ice in Colorado and Washington. We've got votes coming up in Alaska and Oregon and Washington, D.C., and medical marijuana is going to be voted on in Florida. They're a huge senior citizen population. But
yes.
I got this call about your case from Brian McCullough saying, can you help this guy? Can you help this guy? So I called up your wife initially, and you came in to get a medical marijuana recommendation at our clinic here. Was that your first trip to Oregon?
Oh, yes, it was.
I was able to get you a little bit of our RSO, one of those tubes, I know. But you were able to find some help from other local dispensaries as well, right?
Right. Yeah, and that oil alone was able to get me off my morphine for the best part of the month.
Good. That morphine just knocks you out, I know.
Oh, yeah. Gets me in trouble with my doctor. He keeps wanting to report me for selling my meds. It's not my system.
So, no, I haven't sold them. Here they are. I still have them.
Yeah, that's a big, long story. Long, much longer than we had.
Unfortunately,
I'm not sure why it's still today.
So tell us about your recent court battle. You've just recently been through another court case, I know. Who all has been convicted in your family, and who is being continued to be prosecuted?
Well, they tried to convict all of us as something. My son of possession and paraphernalia, and my wife and I and my friend of all 4 counts of conspiracy, manufacturing, tax stamp, and I can't remember what the 4th charge is. It wasn't distribution, because I think my attorney leaked the information that we were going to attack the distribution charge, which was the only thing they left us with to be able to put doubt in the mind of the jury that I wasn't selling it, so what was I doing with it? And for 71 plants, apparently that was supposed to be a very large number. Not if you're juicing an everyday juice plant. It's a very tiny little plant. Never is going to see buds, but well, that lost my train of thought here.
So you're juicing the leaves, or you were juicing the leaves. How did that work for you?
Oh, chasing the what? I'm on a cell phone. It's very hard to hear. I should have.
He asked if you were juicing the leaves as well.
Oh yes, the juice from the leaves were a major turning point too, in just keeping it from having lesions disappear and new ones come as they run out, to watching them disappear, not just having them show up in another place and eventually the other ones are gone. But I actually started seeing and feeling shrinking, some itching. It feels like the whole area is going to battle. It turns red. And within a couple of days, it calms down and gets really itchy, and then everything just starts to get smaller and smaller. But yeah, the juice was a very major turning point in the reaction to the whole treatment, and that was responsible for more than half the plants I have, which is the big thing that gets in people's head is how many plants I had. According to them, I had 71, but I'm pretty sure that at least 10 of them didn't even have roots. But anyway, yeah. They came and took all of the evidence that I was growing, but left almost all of my oil making paraphernalia. They also took my test kits, my TLC test kits, the chromatography, to test the amount of THC and CBC in it, and I imagine they probably used my plates to test them because they didn't see them among the evidence. There's a lot of evidence that they sold, which is another thing. They mishandled every part of this case. They didn't get a proper search warrant. They trespassed to get the search warrant. They took pictures, misleading pictures, where they staged items that they found in one part of the house and put them in another part of the house. They loaded all my father's guns and put a round in the chamber and showed that there was a round in each chamber, which was absolutely ridiculous. He's still trying to figure out where his guns are. As a matter of fact, they told me they'd give them back. They wouldn't. Well, they haven't. Have problems locating it, apparently. On top of that, the judge said that he would make concessions for my condition, which turned out to be just lip service. My mother asked, right as the trial was beginning, if I was going to be able to keep my cardiology appointment that was probably a month and a half in the making. It takes quite a while to get in there. Then he staunchly said no. At about that point, he was saying no to everything that was asked from the defense. Coincidentally, the doctor's appointment that I had, I could have just left court for an hour at lunchtime with everybody else and come back. I could have avoided my episode in court. The second day of the trial, I was taken out of the courtroom by an ambulance. I was hallucinating and having major pains. My tumors were talking to me with colors, and it was really, really bad. Excuse me. And the time I was in the hospital, the judge was pushing the doctors to write something that I wasn't malingering, and even after they said, yeah, he's got a serious condition, like potassium was deadly low, it's like 3. And my hemoglobin was so low that they said I needed a transfusion. So I was not in very good condition, and they pushed me out of the hospital before they could finish giving me my potassium. They were going to give me some charcoal dressings so I would stink so bad of death and sitting there in the courtroom. And so So he demanded I get right into court. So I go pretty much right into court onto the witness stand, or right from the hospital into the witness stand. The jury could see that I was just released from the hospital. Looked like a lot of them were confused as to what was going on.
Well, I'll tell you what also stinks is not being able to pay your bills, and we can't do that unless we take a commercial break and let our sponsors be heard. We want everybody to know that it's important that you go to our sponsors' websites and let them know that you heard about them here on the big broadcast called Time for Hemp. You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
If you are in the Portland, Oregon area and are an OMMP card holder, then come down to Nikki's Diggity Dank Market, Portland, Oregon's first and only weekly OMMP market, presented by the Alternative Wellness Center, located at 5241 Southeast 72nd Avenue, 2 blocks south of Foster Boulevard, close to public transportation, held every Sunday 10 a.m. till 7 p.m., connecting quality vendors with patients. Nikki's Diggity Dank Market also has a weekly raffle with products from every vendor, so come down to Nikki's Diggity Dank Market and have fun while connecting with quality vendors and getting great natural medicine. If you are a vendor and want a chance to connect with OMMP patients, you can check out their Facebook page at facebook.com/Alternative Wellness Center or call 971-888-4392. Be sure to register early because space is limited. Nikki's Diggity Dank Market.
In need of a ganja vacation? Blaze away.
Don't criticize it.
Hotbox Jamaica. Chill. Relax and burn all day while watching the amazing ocean view. Listen to the birds. Bathe in the mineral waters of the Ganja River. Munch on tasty Jamaican Rasta food. Take a weed farm tour and hold a meditation. Book this amazing vacation for $420. Get the Sativa Special. 7 nights in Sativa dorms with ganja meals and airport transfer. Check us out at hotboxjamaica.com. That's hotboxjamaica.com. Hotbox Jamaica, a higher meditation vacation.
Indigrow is your source for affordable induction grow lighting. First discovered in 1891 by Nikola Tesla, Indigrow lights deliver 11 years of electronic sunlight to your plants. Indigrow lamps require less than half the power of traditional HID lamps. Converting to Indigrow lights means you'll cut down on your power bill with less lighting. Indigrow lamps also use 5 times less mercury than traditional fluorescent or HID lamps, making Indigrow not only energy efficient but environmentally friendly as well. No more switching out lamps between vegetative and flowering stages. As nature intended, your lights get a steady dose of UV light. That makes your plants grow healthier and stronger. Indigrow products are manufactured in San Diego, California, and come with a written 10-year warranty. What Tesla knew, then growers know now, is that Indigrow lighting is the cost-effective addition to your victory garden. To learn more or order now, go to inda-grow.com. That's INDA-GRO.com, or call 877-452-2244 to answer any of your questions. These guys really know lights. Indigrow really is your sunlight in a box.
Free? Did you say free? Free hemp? Free hemp? Free hemp video and audio? Free downloads of all the top artists, all the pot artists on planet Earth. Interviews with all the people making the movement, making the hemp movement. hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp.
Well, I once had a bowl, good green reefer, a big fat Jones beef, much, much sweeter. Mighty don't hide it. Mighty don't hide it. Well, mighty don't hide it. Mighty don't hide it. Well, I don't hide it. Fire up right now.
Yeah, fire up right now. Be loud, be proud. Come out of the closet. Let everybody know that you utilize medicinal marijuana and that you do not want to be treated like a criminal just because you are sick. With that said, we are having a joint conversation today with my joint friend Paul Stanford and his joint friend here on the big broadcast, Benton MacKenzie. And I want to thank you, Benton, for being on the show today. Are you there, Benton?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay.
No problem.
And Paul, thank you for being here as always every Thursday. And we appreciate the support of the network that you give. And I will pass the conversation back to you and Benton.
Hey, Ben, so you're in Oregon now, but you're only able to stay a few days. They just convicted you, was it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. I've got to go back for sentencing on the 28th.
So do you have to go through some process to be able to travel out here? Do they have to give you permission, or how does that work?
Well, yeah, I just asked for permission. They've been giving me permission to come here the whole time during trial, so I could make it to the end of trial. How's that?
That's good. At least they're doing that. So
yeah, and they're
in that trial, they convicted your wife as well. Is that correct? Your wife and son were both convicted?
Convicted, yeah.
But your parents are being charged as well, and they're going to have to go to. Do they go to trial later?
They were going to go to trial. They were supposed to go to trial 2 weeks ago, but the prosecutor decided to drop it at the last minute because he couldn't prove it.
Oh, good. So they aren't being charged then. They dropped the charges against your parents at least.
Right. I think it was the public pressure.
Well, I can imagine that. How can we put more pressure on them to leave you alone? Because right now, what are they threatening you with in terms of a sentence? And how can we reach out to them and tell them to stop?
Well, I think they're planning on trying to give me 15 years, and even I think they're trying to play nice and suggested that they're going to give me probation. But they also said when I applied for the jury instruction for necessity defense, then they also threw in a multiplier. They said they'd go back and bring in the past offenses so that I would have a sentence enhancement for a mandatory 3-year prison sentence, no matter what I get. So it'd be a mandatory 3 years and then probation after that. Which at that point I don't really care, because at 2 or 3 months I'm a dead man anyway, without my oil.
So when you go in for sentencing, are you going to be incarcerated when you go in for sentencing?
I'm not too sure. I should be able to get out on appeal bond once I appeal it, because as soon as I can, that thing's going to be flying in there. And I'm just not sure whether I'm going to be bonded from jail or from home. But I would imagine it's a hard call, because they tossed me out of jail when the cancer started to get too big to deal with. They were going to have to start treating it medically or get me to Iowa City at that point. I know how to deal with it then, and it's much worse now. So I have a feeling that if I do any jail time, it's probably not going to be long. Probably short enough
I
so
see.
I can survive. But after the appeal, there should be no reason that it proceeds any further than that. Even if it doesn't make appeal, there's a lot of pressure on the government, Governor Branstad to give me a stay. I've heard of him giving other marijuana patients stays in Iowa. Lenise Widower was one of them. She was one of the original children in 1980, 1979. Really, it was 1980. At Iowa City University, or the University of Iowa, the same university I went to get looked at, offered treatment. They cured 4 kids. Well, they killed 2 of them and cured 2 of cancer back in the 80s. And she happened to be one of them. So she's been living in Iowa ever since. And she's been challenged on it, and like I said, the governor gave her a stay. Not too sure what year. But she's pretty leery to speak about it even after the Iowa gag order expired. There's now the federal gag order is threatening to do nasty things to her. So I can understand why she doesn't talk about it too much. But there is the information circulating out there already. Not sure how much they pulled off in that. But yeah, if anybody can Google Lenise Widower, they can find out, well, possibly find out a little bit more information and how thorough they've covered their tracks. So there's always the possibility of getting a stay, or if that doesn't happen, there's so many different reasons that the appeal needs to just let me go. And then,
how can we reach out and urge, how can our audience reach out and urge these folks to show some compassion and for you and your whole family?
Oh, they can write to the Iowa legislation. They can call the governor's office. They can call the Scott County Attorney's office. Not sure if you can contact Judge Latham directly, but yeah, anybody that wants to email or contact them, or Sheriff Connard, because they're harassing us the whole time, trespassing on our property. Even to this day, they're driving up on private property to just harass us constantly. And just let the sheriff know that people don't like their law enforcement officers breaking the law.
Yeah.
Especially for such a piddly crime, I say, quote unquote.
Yeah, treating your illness, that doesn't seem like a crime to me. Seems like a crime what they're doing to you is the real crime here. And if the jury could have known about your condition, I'm sure they would have come back with a not guilty verdict for you and your family.
That's right. Oh, I'm disappointed with the jury on my family's case, not so much on mine. There was enough where they could have come back not guilty already because of the confusion. However, because of the confusion also, there was little to go on to know whether I was innocent or guilty, but the jury completely went and let me down with concern to my wife and child. I mean, they were there to make sure that innocent people don't get convicted like this. And here they are. I'm sure they haven't heard the officer's testimony. And another part of that is they disbarred my attorney a couple weeks, the month before trial was supposed to go on, and replaced her with somebody that was working against me. All he wanted to do was plea bargain me. So he kept on eliminating everything that I had to stand on so that I would ultimately take a plea. Then he comes in and says, "Oh, I got the perfect plea. They decided to drop all charges against your whole family if you'll just take the manufacturing charge on yourself and against my friend." I was like, "Well, that's all well and good, but that's not fair, and that's not going to happen. My family wasn't involved anyway, so that's going to get taken care of eventually." But at that point, I decided, yeah, you guys are totally despicable, and if you've taken the gloves off, well, I'm not stopping until there's blood on the ground. That's probably not going to be mine. I'm not the one who's breaking too many laws here.
Well, we are down to about the last 2 minutes of the broadcast. Father Time makes us wrap it up. Is there a website that people can reach you at? Is there an organization you want to put a spotlight before we roll off to the next program?
Sure. There's a Facebook group called Free Benton, MacKenzie. You can also get a hold of me at Benton MacKenzie on Facebook. And I accept most people as friends but trolls, so anybody that's wanting to show support, that's plenty. I mean, whatever people are led to do, I think they should do it. I don't like the idea of people being inspired to do things over fear and worry, concern for me, but that's all part of the change process, and I'm on board. Oh, it's the freebenton.org, I should say.
Well, my heart goes out to you. I look forward to meeting you tomorrow evening at the studio. It's been an honor to have you onto our program to share your path. I'm certain many people listening in not only feel for you, but maybe might have found something within your words to feel strength from and to also learn and share with. Paul, you want to give a shout out to any organization or event, etc.?
Certainly.
I'd just like to
Well, we got our TV show tomorrow night, Cannabis Common Sense. It's on the Time for Hemp Network. You should watch the video feed on the Time for Hemp website, I believe, and on Ustream.tv. And we find out about our clinics to help medical marijuana patients and our news on Hemp News at hemp.org, HEMP.org. Thank you, Casper.
Absolutely. Coming up next, out of England, we got Steve Danks letting us know what's going on with Sierra Riddle and her son. A nice update there. And then, of course, we got coming to you from Chile and or Argentina. Michael travels so much, I'm not sure where. Mike Bafari and Morgiana Sativa will be doing an all-Spanish broadcast for an hour, followed with 2 hours of great music from TJ the DJ, giving you some tunes that'll make your smoking time and sharing time with your buds a whole lot more groovy. And then, of course, tonight we have a whole lineup of great information about the need to end prohibition. With that said, make it a point to pass this around to all your friends. That's how we're found. We're just like a good joint here at Time for Hemp.